Hello, everyone. So I watched FIK this afternoon and I have thoughts. So grab your glass of wine or whatever you want to drink and let's talk through some FIK. So I feel like I'm just going to go through my top 25 again, like I gave y'all last week. But some things have changed. So I have some notes here. So my current number 25 is Camila Islamai with Koitimet Skane Forme. I just wrote, it's still really not my vibe. It still makes me uncomfortable. My is Agin Polska with Vendi In. Now, I did like what they did with this song. I loved the deep red of the staging. Like, it was really red and kind of that smoky LED. And then they really turned up the volume level of that wind instrument, and I really liked that. But overall, it dropped some places for me. Just because compared to some other live performances, it didn't quite hold up in my eyes. Next. My 23rd place is Fato Shabani with Steve. So this actually moved up a few places because I think this was my last place. And I wrote that, okay, it's not quite my last place of the night anymore. So that's definitely a good sign, moved up a little bit, enjoyed the performance, even though it's still not my favorite. My 22nd place was Evidesi with Thier. I liked it more than the recorded version, definitely. I think she looked great. I think she sounded really good. Still don't love the melody of the song, but I liked it more, and so I think this moved up a couple of places too. My place is Frank Coruni with Emoren Boten. I prefer his voice live over his voice in the recording. I think it sounds a little more organic live, but I think the stage performance was a little bit lacking with that. It was really just him, and he's not the most captivating stage performer. So that's why he was my 21st place. 20th place, Florent Abrache with Vaise. So I wrote, this was actually not as bad as I thought. I remember it was a bit lower, I think, in my top 25, and I was actually pleasantly surprised with this. I know he had the signer, he had the person doing the sign language, and I really like that. It's always nice to be inclusive in that way. So my 19th place is Eric Loshi with Yo. Good voice, but I really wasn't buying the whole thing, and so I said he dropped a couple of places. My 18th place was Stefan Marena with Meteor. So I actually like this more than the recording. It's generic, but at least he had dancers and such. And I liked his presence on stage. So I was like, okay, this is not as totally generic as I thought it was. At least he brings something to the stage. So my 17th place, sorry, the numbering's off, is Orgesa Zaimi. And I was surprised at this. I was expecting this to be lower like it was in my top 25, but I think live I got the song more. I didn't like it in the recording because I didn't get it, but I think I got it more. Really good voice she has. It sounded even better than the recording. So I think the only reason it's even this low is because I don't really like the song that much, but I get it more. My 16th place, I'm really trying to keep these numbers in my head. I hope I'm saying it correctly. If not, I'll fix it later. My 16th place is Debbie's with Peng. I'm still mixed feelings on it, which kind of reflects its place in the middle of the pack. It's not like immediately captivating, but yet there's something about it that still intrigues me enough to want to play it back. So, My 15th place, so top 15, is Victor Tahirai, with Nene. So he looks like a real wholesome guy. He just looks like a nice seasoned, has lived life type of guy. Some of the high notes felt a little unstable, but I really did like that last like third, fourth of the song where the rhythm switches up and becomes a little bit more driving. I really like that section. And so 15th place, not bad at all. My 14th place is my girl Wendy. You know I love Wendy, but the song just didn't really captivate me. Now I'm really glad she had the dancers because that definitely kept this from being even a little lower perhaps. The dancers made it at least a bit captivating visually as well as sonically, and you know her voice is going to be good, so she's going to deliver it vocally. But it's just not as good a song as Inde in my opinion. So 14th place, no, sorry, my 13th place. See, the numbers are off and it's going to fuck me up. My 13th place is actually Jessica Polo with Mem Brom. So I can say when I'm wrong, and I was wrong about this one. I know I mentioned that it didn't go anywhere fast enough, and I do think it could pick up a little bit faster. But the way that she emoted during this, it was a really emotional performance, and so she really sold me on that through that visual performance of herself in addition to the song, which I already liked. I just had hoped it would go somewhere faster, but this sold me. My 12th place is Clint with Do Tia Dal. So I was actually really surprised with this, really happily surprised with this. I think I had this right below Eric originally in my original top 25, and I was like, Clint's voice was impeccable. I liked his presence. He seemed to fill the stage, even though it was just him on stage, more than some other solo performers did this evening. And so I really, really appreciated that, and that's why he ended up, relatively high in my list, top 12. My 11th place is Viola. So I really liked her voice live. I did. I read a lot of people didn't think it was quite good, and I did. Maybe I have to watch it back, but I actually liked it. And I think this is around where she was. It may have gone up a spot, it may not have, I can't exactly remember, but all I know is I enjoyed it. So top 10 now. So the top 10 for me has remained, I think, mostly intact. I think there may be one person who wasn't in the top 10 who now is. So my 10th place after the show is Festina Mazzini. So it was pretty much what I expected, and so while it didn't lower itself in my ranking, some other performances raised in my ranking, which is why this, I think, dropped a couple of places. So my 9th place, it was Merud. And 9th place may not seem like bad, but this did drop like 4 or 5 places in my ranking, just because he either looked really nervous or really like sick, and I very much felt for him. I felt really bad for him because I know the song is good. He just has to get the staging and the outfit and the performance right. And so I still think he can do it, but based off of the performance tonight, I'm a little less sure, right, than I was even a few days ago when I did my top 25 originally. So my 8th place is Enji Nasufi with Nyesoy. So I was a little confused by the outfits because I understood the backing dancers' outfits, but I don't necessarily understand why she chose the outfit that she did in relation to those. So that confused me a little bit, and I guess overall I just wasn't totally convinced by the performance, if you know what I mean. Like, it was good, but I wasn't 100% there. So my 7th place, this one jumped a good few spots, and this was Sadidi Strugai. So what I wrote about this was that he definitely had like the most developed choreography and the most developed camera work that I had seen up until his performance, and perhaps for the whole night, with the person in the cage, and then he had angles, and I don't know, it was really engaging for me, and his voice really transferred live, and so overall, and he was hot too. So overall, I really thought he deserved to be a couple of places higher with the performance from tonight. My sixth place, and he definitely jumped a few places too, is Gergi Casinari. You know I loved this song going in, but live I saw so much potential in it. First off, he's hot. Let me just get that out. He's hot. But again, it's with the range, and it's such a different sound to have a male with a low voice in, contests to be potentially representing a country at Eurovision. And like I said, I saw so much potential. Like I liked his long trench coat look, and I could see this song being really powerful with blue staging and a lot of wind, or like red staging and fire. Either way, but I think I like the blue staging with wind more, because he had blue staging today, and it was really I was like, ooh, there's something there. So he took my sixth place spot. Almost top five, not quite. So I think my top five is mostly intact, except there was a flip. So my fifth place is still Rosella. I did notice that the beginning of the song seems a little bit low for her, like pitch-wise, because it was real quiet, and I totally understand that, because I think Gergi had the same problem a little bit, where once the adrenaline gets going, like you get excited and then your voice doesn't go as deep as it does, when you're just at home or in a recording studio. But I stand by what I said about the potential for the unique staging for that song. There's just so much potential to have really cool dances, really cool dancers, really cool colors, patterns. So super excited for that. So she kept the fifth place spot. Now my fourth place is Castro Zizo, who if you watch my other video, was my third place. And the reason he dropped a spot is because I think there were all of the pieces there to make this great. I just think we have to refine it a little bit. So I liked his outfit a lot. I liked the fire and the LEDs. But I think if he had at least a dancer or two, maybe even more, to bring the staging to life, as well as some real pyro, it would just elevate it so much more. Because I'm thinking of Hungary 2018 with Viszlát, and the reason that was so great at the Eurovision contest that year was because the stage was full, there was movement, right? It was a whole band. And so while there weren't dancers, the band was moving around, jumping around. And so I think we need some of that movement here to allow this song that's really niche to come alive. So my third place is Angela Peristeri with Karma. This was good. This was what I expected from her. It was very good. I really was excited about the potential of this song too, especially with the dancers. I do think she should bring the dancers out a little earlier than she does, but really liked it. The voice came across super well, super clear, and really no faults with this one. My second place is still Ines with Pendice. Now, again, if you remember my original top 25, you'll know that second place is really I like the songs the same, but the only reason is because I know a lot of people saying Albania's done the ballad thing, and so I'm okay, maybe it would be nice for something different. But that being said, her voice live just blew me away. It almost blew me out of the chair I'm sitting in. I'm gonna go watch that again after this, actually. Because it's so impressive. And if she won, I would be 100% happy, and I would listen to that song day in and day out, like I'm going to even if she doesn't win. But anyway, voice of the night for me. And then my number one was still Erarusi with Ziari Im. I told y'all she was gonna perform the hell out of this song. And what did she do? She performed the hell out of that song. I like the gold. I love the reveal of the dancers where they came up from behind the drums and just started getting to it. And I think just the singing, but in combination with all of those just noises that she makes, just really makes this something special, and it could do great for Albania in a different way than the songs that they've sent the last few years have done. So I really enjoyed this. I cannot wait for tomorrow, when the second night of FIK is, and then Wednesday, when the final is. So let me know what your favorite from the first night of FIK were. What are your favorites after? What disappointed you? What impressed you? Let me know. So anyway, thank you for clicking on this video. If you like it, please like it. Please consider subscribing if you have not. Thank you for watching this video, and as always, I'll see you next time.